Hey everyone, I'm Orfo here. I finally managed to scrape some time and put together a build video for my updated Magicka Templar, my updated Conqueror build. This is by far the best work that I've ever done on a Magicka Templar. My previous build was good and is still very much viable, but this build takes it to an entirely different level. Not only when it comes to damage, but when it comes to sustain, when it comes to my resources, my base damage, everything it's just so good. I've had to rework it altogether, so much so that I've been thinking about renaming it, but I'm gonna be sticking with the Conqueror as for its name. But yeah, this is by far my best work, and I'm pretty sure you'll all be very pleased with. Now, let me get started by looking at the base stats. Okay. Now this is I'm not completely buffed up yet. The stats go crazy when I go fully buffed up. But just to initially look at my pools, my Magicka pool, 40k. Okay, I've never had so much Magicka on a heavy Magicka Templar for PvP. My Magicka pool is so much higher than my previous build. Previously it was only 33k. With this one I've got 7k on top of that, which translates into 700 spell damage, which is insane. My base spell damage also goes up by quite a bit. I'll show you in a moment. Max health on my back bar is over almost 19k, which in Cyrodiil means between 23 and 24k. I can't quite remember. Magicka recovery, base Magicka recovery is 1893, almost 1900, and it goes up by quite a bit because of one of the sets that I'm using. Spell damage and spell critical, I'm just gonna show you what they're like. Spell damage almost 3.5k. Spell critical, it went up by 35.4k. You can see Scoria proccing like crazy there in the back, which already tells you I'm using two-piece Scoria. But before we get there, let's take a look at my Magicka recovery. Now it's almost 1900, but when I'm under pressure it goes up by quite a bit. Let me just get there. So yeah, when I'm fully buffed it goes up by almost 4k Magicka recovery. It's absolutely insane. My spell physical and crit resistance, they go up to 30k when it comes to my spell resistance, and well, almost 30k spell resistance, almost 26k physical resistance, and almost 3k critical resistance, which is absolutely fantastic. Now for the juicy bit, my sets, my gear. Now I've almost golded everything out, and this is really min-maxed. Apart from a couple of trades, 99% of it is min-maxed, as well as the champion points, as we're gonna see in a moment. But let's get started with Swords of Willpower. Now I go for Swords of Willpower rather than say two Swords of Torug's Pact because of the max Magicka. Now again, Magicka translates into spell damage. Every 1000 points of Magicka translate into 100 spell damage. So this means that the amount of spell damage that I get from two Swords of Willpower is higher than any spell damage bonus that you get from any two-piece set like Torug's Pact. This is why I went for Willpower instead of Swords of Torug's Pact. Now on my back bar we find the Lich set, so it's procced every time I'm on my back bar, Every time I drop below 33% of Magicka, my Magicka recovery goes up by almost 1k for 20 seconds. Something that can occur only once every minute, but it's more than enough. Something very good about Lich is the fact that because I have three pieces of jewelry on me at all times, I always get that nice 1058 maximum Magicka bonus at the front, as well as one bonus to my Magicka recovery. So this is absolutely fantastic when you're under pressure. This one's, it just allows me to sustain all the time. Then I've got Valkyrie Scoria as my monster set. This is by far my favorite monster set when it comes to Magicka Templars. It procs literally on cooldown. It gives me a nice bonus to my health, and the flame damage is just insane. It procs all the time. It's just so good. Unfortunately, I had to drop it with my previous build because I couldn't sustain as well, so I had to turn to Engine Guardian. But now I'm so pleased I've been able to go back to it because I just love it. And then the other 5-piece set, which is on my body, is Shackle Breaker. I've dropped Rattle Cage, yes, I've done it. I've dropped a Rattle Cage and I've moved to Shackle Breaker. Now, normally people, when theory crafting, when putting builds together, they tend to put, if they're using more than one set, as they normally do, one would be for damage, the other one would be for sustain. Very often people think the Shackle Breaker is a sustain set. I think it's more of a hybrid set, in the sense that, yes, it only gives you one spell damage bonus, but it does give you 2000 maximum Magicka bonus, which again translates into spell damage. So that 2000 maximum Magicka, I read it also as 200 spell damage, which adds to your 129 spell damage, making it 329, which is almost as high as Rattle Cage, who doesn't give me any Magicka bonus. Alright, so as a set, yes, it is a sustain set because it gives you Magicka recovery, a nice boost to your stamina recovery as well. Mind, I've only got just over 12,000 stamina on this setup, but it's more than enough for me to sustain. So yes, it gives you more Magicka and stamina recovery and bigger pools. But because it gives you the bigger pools, that translates into damage. So yes, it is a sustain set, but it's also a damage set. So I've got 5-piece Shackle Breaker. I've got I've got 3 pieces heavy and 2 pieces light. So my head is heavy, my chest is heavy, my shoulders are heavy, my small pieces are light. So I've got 2 light pieces. I've got light waist and light hands, and then heavy legs and heavy feet. Now if you wanted, you could drop one of these and make it heavy. Now the reason why I have light is because of the Undaunted passive. Hold on, what is it? If you max it out, you get Undaunted Metal that gives you 2% extra Magicka health and stamina pool for every type of armor that you wear. Because I'm wearing 2, I get 4% bonus on all of these. But the reason why I'm wearing 2 light is again to help me with my sustain, because I get an 80% bonus on my Magicka recovery. Everything costs 4% less, which again, when it comes to Magicka Templars, their skills are just so expensive. This is why I've pointed so much into sustain. and Magicka Pool, and also increases your spell resistance by 726. So yes, this is why I run it the way I do. If you want a little bit more resistance, you can drop one glove, sorry, one light piece, and swap it for a heavy piece, or you can go for medium and get another extra 2% on your max stats. But I don't find it particularly useful. So these are the sets that I'm using. I've got Magicka glyphs on everything. Okay. Oh, by the way, what you want to do is to make sure that your main hand is Nirnhorn. Okay. Just the fact that it's Nirnhorn, I get 200 spell damage, base spell damage extra, just because it's Nirnhorn. So forget about sharpened on your main hand, put Nirnhorn. Then on your offhand weapon, you want to put sharpened. I've only got precise, I've not transmuted it yet, but you want sharpened. On your back bar, you can have either Nirnhorn, which will help your damage and will also help your heals, or you can just have powered, and then a reinforced shield. Now everything else is in pen with max Magicka glyphs, and I've got 3 spell damage glyphs on my jewelry. Now when it comes to consumables, I use the usual ones. For my food and drink, I use the Witch Mother's Potent Brew, again great for sustain and max stats. Then I use tri-stats, okay, for when I'm short of more or less everything, which is hardly ever the case. And because mainly I use the Essence of Immovability. You see, if I'm running out of stam, I pop one of these and become immune to stun and CC in general for almost 16 seconds, and that basically enables me to recover all my stamina either through my heavy armor passives or through heavy attacks. So Essence of Immovability, I use this one. It makes me immune to knockback and disabling effects, restores Magicka, and also reveals enemies around me, increases your stealth detection by 20 meters for, again, almost 16 seconds, which is great against Nightblades that try to get away from you. And then Essence of Invisibility. This one's to just get out of sticky situation. This is the one that gives you major expedition to increase your movement speed. And then I've got these, you know, rubbish, very basic Magicka pots, the one that you loot off enemies. It's good when you just want to replenish your Magicka without having to use consumables that are a bit more expensive. Also, before I forget, I am a stage 4 vampire, and I use Esboon the Atronaut. Now for my champion points. Now this is min-max to what I like. You can change it the way you want. Even with my sets, if you want to use something else when it comes to your monster set, I go for DPS normally, but say if you're doing battlegrounds and it's something like capture the flag, or it's something like I don't know, something that requires you to be a bit more tanky, you can just put Bloodspawn on it, and you will be just fine. So for my champion points, I've got 28 points into Warlord, 3 into Sprinter, 75 into Arcanist, 43 into Mooncalf, 27 into Tenacity, 1 into Befoul because I didn't know where else to put it, 2 into Tumbling for the same reason, 51 into Shadow Ward to help me with block, 28 into Elfborn, 54 into spell erosion, 64 into elemental expert, 28 into shattering blows for when you go against Sorks, 56 into thaumaturge. You want to put a lot of points in here since most of your damage is a dot, and 51 into ironclad, 20 into spell shield. I've put some points here because I'm vampire and want to kind of make sure I don't take as much damage from fire. 41 into resistance, 49 into hardy and elemental defender, and 20 into heavy armor focus. Now let's quickly take a look at the skills. I almost forgot about them altogether. Let's start off with my offensive part. Reflective light. Now I've started using this this more over the other one because yes, it doesn't last as long, but it doesn't matter because I often use it in conjunction with purifying light, and you see purifying light is 6 seconds, and reflective light is 6.5 seconds. Anything longer than that just goes wasted because I would then have to reapply purifying light and then cast this one again to top up its damage. So I go for reflective light. I hit more than one target, and obviously grants my major prophecy, increasing my spell critical rating by just over 2k. Now I got purifying light. This is great for your burst. You can see your maximum copy damage goes up to above 21k. So if you time it right, you can really create some burst damage, which is great. Toppling charge. This is my gap closer and my only CC. Puncturing sweep, my main DPS, my main spannable, sorry, and then radiant oppression as a finisher. Now radiant oppression, I really don't like it anymore. It's a few patches ago it's been nerfed into the ground, and from being the best finisher in the game, it's become the worst finisher in the game. I only try and use it when the opponent is almost dead, so you might as well swap it with something else, as I'm going to show you in a moment. Now I've got Ice Comet here. Ice Comet is brilliant. It does a lot of instant damage, plus applies a dot that can proc Scoria. Being part of the Mage's Guild line increases your max Magicka. It's just an amazing ultimate. Costs a little bit, but nonetheless is great. If you wanted, you could swap it for Soul Assault. Now I'm not buffed up and I'm at 62k. When I am fully buffed up, that number goes up to 70k, just over 70k magic damage. And again, because it's over 3.5 seconds, it counts as damage over time, which again procs Scoria. It's just insane. If you want to, you can swap Soul Assault, put it instead of Ice Comet, and then because Soul Assault is so cheap, it's only 96 ultimate, you can drop Radiant Oppression and put Blazing Spear instead. So what you can do is just 1, 2, 3, boom, and you see Scoria just procs. It's the amount of damage that you create with this is absolutely insane. So this is another great option. Then on my back bar, I've got good old Elusive Mist. As a Magicka Templar, you don't have much mobility. This one grants you mobility. It purges all your anything that's slowing you down, anything that's rooting you. It's great for repositioning. Honor the Dead, that's your main heal. Extended Ritual, this is amazing. Now, when it comes to PvP, being able to purify and cleanse yourself of all poison damage, all sorts of fire dots that Magicka Dragon Knights place on you, any harmful effects like major breach when it comes to stamina knight blades, siege weapon, dot damage. The ability to purge, to cleanse yourself is so important. This is the only class that has a proper a purge, and with this morph you cleanse up to 5 harmful effects. It's just too good. It's just too good. I really pray they'll never touch this skill, because it really gives you an edge in PvP. Structured entropy. It's where I get my major sorcery from. Well slotted. My max health is increased by 8% again, which is great because it's on my defensive bar. Then I've got channeled focus, which puts, oh, I forgot to mention this. On top of that, almost 4k Magicka recovery, you need to add 240, no sorry, 140, it's over 500 Magicka recovery. So it's 120 Magicka every 0.5 seconds. So Magicka recovery is normally calculated over 2 seconds. This means that you need to multiply 120 by 4, which is 480. Okay, 480 Magicka recovery on top of your already 4k Magicka recovery is just absolutely insane. And as well, it gives you major resolve and major ward, increasing your physical resistance and spell resistance. Amazing. Then, lastly, I've started playing around with Spell Wall as my backbar ultimate, which is great. Another amazing alternative, which is the one that I've always been using, Devouring Swarm, enables you to stay alive, do damage, and proc scoring. There's nothing better. So yes, there you go. My Conqueror build updated for the Clockwork city patch. The best work I have ever done. Right after now, I'm gonna upload a clip that shows you a situation I've been in very recently. I think it was just yesterday. I was very much under pressure. I was outnumbered, but we came out on top. And as you notice, I just don't run out of resources, and I put out so much damage. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate your loyalty. I've almost got 500 followers, which is incredible, since I don't really spend too much uploading videos. I only do it every once in a while, and I major very much around a Magicka Templar for PvP. I'm going to update my Magicka Sorcerer for VMA. That one's insane. Again, get ready to be surprised by what I've come up with. So that's next in slot, and then after that I've been working on my brand new character, Magicka Dragon Knight, heavy Magicka Dragon Knight, and again I'm having so much fun with it, and eventually I'm gonna upload a build video for that one as well. If you've got any comments or questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I will come back to you. I'm pretty on the ball with that. Also, if you ever want to support me, other than just leaving a like and a subscribe and commenting on my videos, feel free to send mats or gold materials to my account. Just on my Magicka Dragon Knight, I had to spend over 300k between gear, between all sorts of stuff. And so if you want to help out, feel free to do so. Don't feel obliged. It would just help me out. Just send it to Amor484. I play on the Xbox, on the EU server. And yes, I would really appreciate it. I would actually mention you in my next build videos. And yes, so thank you so much. There you go, my brand new Conqueror build. Go out and conquer.